In a quaint little town, nestled between the mountains, lived an artist who had lost his spark. Once celebrated for his vivid imagination and breathtaking works, he now stared at blank canvases, paralyzed by doubt. The townsfolk whispered, wondering how someone so talented could fall into such a creative rut. But no one knew the real reason behind his struggle, nor did they expect the twist of fate that would change everything. This is a story about how creativity, when trapped in a cage, withers away, but when set free by an open mind, it blooms in ways one could never imagine. Liam was once a name synonymous with creativity in his small town. His paintings graced the walls of local galleries, and his murals brought life to the otherwise dull streets. People would come from neighboring towns just to watch him work, captivated by how effortlessly he translated imagination into reality. But that was years ago. Now, Liam sat alone in his studio, surrounded by unfinished works. Brushes dry, paints untouched, his studio felt more like a prison than a sanctuary. He couldn't remember the last time he completed a piece. Every time he tried to paint, a voice inside his head would stop him, whispering that it wasn't good enough. It wasn't the fear of failure that held him back, but the paralyzing belief that he had nothing left to offer. The townspeople noticed a change in Liam. He no longer greeted them with his usual smile, nor did he linger at the local cafe, sketching ideas on napkins. Rumors began to spread. Has he lost his talent? Maybe he's burnt out. But Liam knew the truth. He had become his own worst critic, shutting himself off from the world and, in doing so, shutting off his creativity. One evening, after another failed attempt to paint, Liam decided to take a walk. The cool mountain air and the sound of rustling leaves provided a brief escape from the noise in his mind. As he wandered, he found himself at the edge of the forest, a place he hadn't visited in years. Something about the stillness of the trees beckoned him, and without thinking, he ventured deeper into the woods. As Liam walked, the forest grew denser, and the path became less defined. Just as he considered turning back, he noticed a faint glimmer through the trees. Curiosity piqued. He followed the light until he came upon a clearing. In the center stood a dilapidated cabin, its windows covered in dust, and its wooden structure almost entirely reclaimed by nature. Despite its condition, a soft golden glow emanated from within. Hesitant yet intrigued, Liam approached the cabin. The door creaked as he pushed it open, revealing a surprisingly cozy interior. The walls were lined with shelves filled with books, odd trinkets, and jars of unknown substances. A fireplace crackled softly in the corner, casting flickering shadows across the room. But what caught Liam's attention was a large, ornate mirror hanging above the mantel. It was unlike any he had seen before, with an intricately carved frame that seemed to tell a story of its own. Drawn to the mirror, Liam stood before it, expecting to see his own reflection. But instead, he saw something extraordinary. The mirror didn't just reflect his image. It showed a vibrant world full of colors and shapes, swirling together in a dance of light. It was as if the mirror had captured the very essence of creativity itself. Liam felt a strange sensation wash over him, a mix of awe and inspiration. For the first time in years, he didn't feel the weight of doubt. The mirror seemed to whisper to him, encouraging him to let go of his fears and embrace the unknown. Without realizing it, Liam found himself reaching for a paintbrush, and in that moment, something shifted inside him. The next morning, Liam woke with a sense of purpose he hadn't felt in years. He hurried back to his studio, the image of the mirror still fresh in his mind. 4 hours, he painted without pause, his hand moving as if guided by an unseen force. Colors he had long forgotten mixed effortlessly on the canvas, forming shapes and patterns that were both familiar and new. He wasn't just painting, he was pouring his soul onto the canvas, unrestricted by the boundaries he had once placed on himself. Word quickly spread that Liam was back at work, and soon, people began to visit his studio again. They were amazed by what they saw. Liam's new pieces were unlike anything he had ever created. They were bold, abstract, and full of life, each one telling a story that resonated with the viewer. The artist, who had once been trapped by doubt, had rediscovered his creativity, and it was more powerful than ever. But it wasn't just the art that had changed. Liam himself was different. He was more open, more willing to take risks, and less concerned with what others thought. The mirror in the cabin had shown him that creativity couldn't flourish in a closed mind. It needed freedom to grow, to explore, and to evolve. As time passed, Liam's work gained recognition far beyond his small town. Galleries in the city began to take notice, and soon his art was being displayed across the country. But despite his newfound success, Liam never forgot the lesson he had learned in the cabin. Every now and then, he would return to the clearing, just to stand before the mirror and remind himself of the magic that happens when you let go of fear and embrace the unknown. One day, after yet another visit to the cabin, Liam decided to share his secret with the world. He organized an exhibition titled The Open Mind, featuring his latest works. Each piece was inspired by the freedom he had found in that old, forgotten cabin. At the center of the gallery, he placed a replica of the mirror, hoping it would inspire others as it had inspired him. During the opening night, the gallery was packed. People from all walks of life came to see the exhibit, each one drawn to the mirror. As they gazed into it, something incredible happened. Just like Liam, they saw not just their reflection, but a glimpse of their own untapped potential. The mirror became a symbol of possibility, a reminder that creativity isn't about being perfect, it's about being open to new ideas, new experiences, and new ways of thinking. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Tales with Meaning. In today's story, we explored the power of an open mind and how it can unlock creativity in ways we never imagined. Liam's story reminds us that when we let go of our fears and doubts, we open ourselves to endless possibilities. Creativity flourishes not in a mind trapped by expectations, but in one that is free to explore and dream. So, the next time you find yourself stuck, remember Liam's journey. Embrace the unknown, seek out new experiences, and trust that creativity will follow. We hope this story inspired you to keep your mind open and your heart curious. Thank you for listening, and until next time, keep seeking the meaning in every tale.